So I'm officially back from the Munich Major, and it was an incredible time getting to meet all of you. If you want to catch me, I'll be in Paris in February as well for SI, and I'll also be giving away some exclusive merch like I'd done at Munich as well. But what we have is our official animated cinematic for Year 10 Season 4, which is Rainbow's final mission. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this play out for those of you who haven't seen it, and then we're going to come back and we're going to break all of it down.
This is GSAC Dedicated Officer Aya Smith making her final report on the Rainbow program. Rainbow's last mission is underway. Global stability hangs in the balance. How did we get here? Deimos exploited our blind spots. He used Nighthaven as a distraction. Stayed ahead at every step. We should have known he was one of ours. The damage is done. Trust eroded. The Council is ending the program. And who can blame them? The public was endangered. GSAC itself targeted. People died. Outcomes Rainbow was created to prevent. But as long as Phobos is out there, there will be no peace. More than ever, failure is not an option. No matter what came before, Rainbow will come together and see this through. They'll make things right. They will find the explosives. They will stop Phobos, even if it costs them their lives. They've been fighting this enemy since day one. No other team on the planet can get this done. This is our last chance to salvage this. Otherwise, Phobos will be free to act globally. No one will be safe. See you on the other side.
So this cinematic begins with Aya Smith, the dedicated GSAC officer who we first saw in the comic book for Operation High Stakes. And in that same comic book, she broke the news to Ash and Callie that Rainbow is being officially deactivated and that they have been informed to immediately cease operations. Now, thanks to some intel gathered by Nighthaven's agent Denari, they were able to convince the GSAC to give them a final 24 hours to stop Phobos at the port in Detroit. We then cut over to this mission where we can see the port, and the first thing we are met with is a cargo ship which has New Horizon written on the side of it. Now, we first saw New Horizon on the Keres Legion board in the server room, where it was also tied to a high value target. Now, this high value target, which is tied to New Horizon, has actually been kidnapped by the Keres Legion, and he is the hostage you rescue during this season's assignment for Dualfront. So now that we're starting to learn that New Horizon seems to be a shipping company, it seems like this company has been either hijacked by the Keres Legion and will be used to transport the explosives, which Phobos is attempting to do here, or they are working in cahoots with the Keres Legion, and this high value target being taken hostage is purely false to cover their tracks, and maybe this man is secretly evil. We're not quite sure yet, but he is tied to New Horizon. Which I do want to point out, Horizon is very similar to the Horizon Corporation, the main antagonistic group from the original 1998 Rainbow Six game. If you want to see the entire lore of that video, we have an hour-plus video breaking it down from the very start. You can learn the entire story there. It's a banger. But yeah, that's probably just a coincidence when it comes to the names, or maybe even a homage to that older game, but I don't necessarily think those two companies are linked. Now, as Aya continues to commentate her final report to the recorder she is talking to, we get to see operatives Ash, Dokkaebi, Thatcher, who is using his new EGS disruptor, and as well as this Denari, Nighthaven's agent, who has played a massive part in this Detroit operation. And it's also worth noting what these operatives are doing here, because we learned from the comic book from last season that two teams will be on this mission. One of the teams will go after the explosives, and that is Thatcher and Denari, and the other team will track down Phobos, which is seemingly what Ash and Dokkaebi are doing. Now, as Aya continues to commentate, we start to look through the history of this Keres Legion conflict, starting off when Rainbow and Nighthaven were pit against each other by the Keres Legion, And then of course Rainbow's pursuit of Deimos post Harry's death, and everything we've seen in the lore over the past couple of years. And one of the things she importantly says is, the damage has been done, the trust has been broken. This was the Keres Legion's plan this entire time. It seems like near the start, the goal was to kill the operators, but when Deimos and the Keres Legion realized that that may not be the best route of doing things, they started to go for the council. They started to go for the trust which is held in Rainbow. They started to take down the establishment itself. I want to note a cool detail here as well. We see a nitro cell being thrown at Thatcher and Denari, which is cut off using his EGS disruptor, but this is also a Keres Legion nitro cell with their branding on it. Thought that was quite an interesting detail. There's also a detail which is easily missed, and that is the fact that one of the shipping containers here does have Polaris written on the side of it. I mean, it makes sense. They have a headquarters here. We do know that they transport something. I mean, we saw the Keres Legion back in the big cinematic at the beginning of the year transporting Polaris equipment. So yeah, Polaris stuff is also coming from this port. There's still a lot of mystery behind Polaris as a company, and also the same as New Horizon now. How are all these companies and the Keres Legion coming to play with each other? Now, we see our operatives continuing to face off against the Keres soldiers who are contesting this port. And we get to see Dokkaebi in action, which, one, confirms the fact that she has recovered from her injuries during her time being held captive by the Keres Legion, and it's also nice to include her alongside Thatcher. And I want to make a different video about this point because I think it's very important, but I've seen a lot of reaction from people saying that Thatcher using this new gadget sort of goes against who Thatcher was, you know, the whole fucking laser sights thing. But I think it's very important when you actually look at Thatcher's character development over the years, and especially his friendship with Dokkaebi. It has made him grow as a character and understand that stuff can change and you can accept new technology. That was one of the big things that the Hammer and Scalpel cinematic highlighted. It wanted to show you that Thatcher was the old ways and Dokkaebi was the new ways. And as they would continue to grow as operators and eventually become really good friends, they can understand that both can coexist and that there is a way forward and it doesn't have to be old versus new. This isn't retconning a character. This isn't going against what a character stands for. This is character development. This is Thatcher growing as this disgruntled, hardened, divorced, angry old British man to accepting someone like Dokkaebi and actually understanding her, building a friendship with her, and growing as a person. I actually think that's a really nice part of his character we now have. And we even have that when Dokkaebi and Thatcher look at each other. We don't hear them say anything, but when you know the characters' histories together, you understand the feeling which is being conveyed here. I always think that Thatcher and Dokkaebi's story has been one of the best parts of this narrative. Also, another detail I should mention is that Thatcher in this cinematic is wearing his brand new Elite skin, which is going to be out in Year 10 Season 4. Very grounded, very tactical. I like these style of skins. Now the recap as well as Smith's statement continues until we eventually see Denari and Thatcher closing in on the explosives. And on the other side, we also see Ash and Dokkaebi, who are being followed by presumably Keres soldiers or someone else. But as Smith closes her statement, we are left on a little bit of a cliffhanger, because remember, the job here is to find the explosives and stop Phobos. We did see some explosives being found. We don't know if these are all the explosives, and we also don't know where Phobos is. Is that the strange people behind Ash and Dokkaebi? Or is that simply Denari and Thatcher? I don't think they are. This looks like Keres Legion soldiers. So it seems like Rainbow's final mission isn't over yet, and we're going to see more of this in the narrative for Year 10 Season 4, and this cinematic is just the start of it. So a nice recap of the narrative, as well as getting the ball rolling on Rainbow's final mission. It is really cool to see that Thatcher is in the field here. I actually did theorize when we read that comic that maybe by this point Thatcher has his new gadget, and he will most likely be on this mission. So I was right about that, and it's nice to see Denari still playing a massive part here, and of course Ash and Dokkaebi, who are important parts of the lore as well. But this is their final mission. It doesn't seem like whatever the outcome is here, that it will stop anything. Rainbow is going to be deactivated. What that means for the lore, I don't know, but it is going to lead to something. The story isn't ending here. For our other operators who are not on this mission, they're probably done now. The notice has most likely been relayed to Rainbow. Wolfguard, redhammer, viperstrike, ghosteyes. Every operator is now officially finished. Unless there is more in this operation we are yet to see, our operator's time in Rainbow is over. So if you want to see where this story goes next and how Rainbow recovers from a deactivation, what happens to the operators, how does Nighthaven play into all of this, and how are we actually going to stop Phobos, then make sure you hit that sub button, turn on post notifications, utilize that hype button if you want more people to see this video, drop a like and comment. There's a lot of things you can do to support me. But yeah, we're gonna have a bunch more videos coming very soon. Let me know your thoughts. I love you all, and I'll catch you in the next one.